Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the most poorly organized show on the internet, probably.
I feel like that's ambitious even for us.
Look, it's something I'm striving for, as we can clearly tell. Um, yeah, welcome back. Not as AD Talks, but I guess as RP Talks.
New and improved, we hope.
Let's just call it new.
Stick with new. Slightly
Improved.
altered.
It's a thing, I guess. Um, I do have some. I guess we said we weren't going to do bullet points before, but we do have some sort of guidance to what we want to talk about, not rather than what we have to talk about.
To be fair, I think if we didn't give ourselves some kind of guidance or outline, we would just ramble about absolute irrelevant nonsense for a full solid hour and then be like, what are we talking about?
Isn't that like 90% of podcasts anyway? I'm gonna go switch things around, go the AD talks. Also, let me just drop this. Okay, firstly, straw poll for next week's conversation, which will definitely be an actual topic. I will drop it here. You can vote there. Steps of making a new OC.
Actual topic.
Yep, and you guys get to vote, and you also get to suggest to then make a vote for the following week. And otherwise we have to come up with something, and that's just not fair. But yeah, first option you'll see is steps of making a new OC. We've technically done that on AD like talks prior, which is
I don't know if we can wrap that into 1 hour. I think that might be a
it's something
part
we'd have to say parts
thing.
in. If that gets a vote, we'll probably pick one particular
Yeah, we'll
thing.
break that into smaller
Yeah.
chunks.
Which is what Jake suggested. He's in the chat. I think he more or less wanted to focus on the discussion of what the sort of roleplay there is out there, adventuring, military, all that sort of thing. Oh no, wait, this is steps of making UAC. I'm confusing stuff. That one speaks for itself.
That's
anyway.
genres. That's a whole different thing.
The second one is different types of role-playing genre, which is what Jake suggested. Both of them speak for themselves. The third option is the OOC problem, which is something that's been highly discussed and heated on Argent Dawn. Don't know much about other servers.
It's always a tricky one, right?
Yeah, it's something that's understandable amongst all roleplayers, really.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of like definitive right or wrongs. It's a lot of everyone has their own way of cutting things down, and that's just
yeah, it's very specific on what the problems can be.
I think it can get heated a lot of the time because people think there is a right and wrong.
But that's a topic that can be discussed as well. Again, the straw poll is up there. We'll drop it occasionally in chat, and you guys can sort of spam.
If you would like us to talk about something that's not on that list, though, drop it into the new and improved. Oh no, I did it again. I said improved. The new and slightly altered Discord that we have for the show. We'll take all of your suggestions. We will bake them into the straw polls every week, and we will get them talked about. Please be gentle and generous. I'm not a lore guru. I don't want to have to do too much homework for these things.
Yeah, there's the new Discord as well. If you want to jump on in, we'll try per member on. You just read the rules and guidelines first, as it was with the prior one. I don't remember if it was an AD Talks. I think it was AD Talks because we were, Argent Dawn centric beforehand. That's another new thing, by the way, with RP Talks. We kind of want to just make it a wider variety. So, US servers, China, whatever, all the servers are there that roleplay. And yes, thank you for the follow. I will try pay attention to that, but I'm also just
Jake, that's exactly what I do. I keep handy lore pocket friends.
Saying that, I do have the Chronicle books here, so
I'll
just pull that
nice.
up and pretend I know what I'm talking about whilst reading through it. I have been trying to read through them again lately, but I get distracted easily.
If you haven't jumped into the new Discord, then you should jump into the new Discord because there is some plans in the pipes about making it a little bit more interactive. We're going to drop some questions. We're going to have you guys engage over there, and we're going to find out a bit about your characters, and you can put your questions there. We can discuss topics there. It's going to be a lot more back and forth, we hope.
Yeah, we just generally we're hoping to make it more interactive, wider, and just something. The whole main my whole main perspective with coming back, and I'll explain why I stopped later on a bit because we're going to get to that. The whole main perspective of coming back with RP talks is to shine a better light onto the RP community.
Build it
Um,
up a little.
yeah, because you often get this sort of stigma behind it, you know. Uh, I'm just going to throw out, for example, other content creators. I won't, obviously, I'm not naming names, but you often get this sort of thing where it's portrayed as something weird and all this sort of stuff behind it, you know. Whereas they fail to show the creativity that comes behind it and all the fun that can be had with roleplay, which is something I want to kind of show and extend to every community.
Yeah. There's a lot of mistaken things, and there's, especially at this point in the expansion and stuff, when there's not a lot going on and there's a lot of like, not necessarily negative feelings, but just meh feelings around everything. There can be a lot of like that can spread into a lot of things, and it's not particularly constructive. So we would like to bring a positive spin and a sort of a an encouraging nudge towards the whole scene and all of the aspects of it rather than anything else.
Good vibes, basically.
Good vibes only.
Any bad vibes you get out right now. Maybe I should hire some. Speaking of the straw polls and stuff and Discord, I should probably get some one or two more mods to sort of spam that in the chat now and again as well, in case either of us forget.
Yeah, which is honestly highly likely.
Yeah, because we are very forgetful people. Well, what's up with us, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
go first because you've had a wild ride. To be fair, it's 2020. I think everyone in the whole world is having a wild bloody ride right now. Honestly, it's been crazy, but
it is.
go for it.
Uh, I've kind of already explained it all on. I had a little like a day or a week ago or so. I kind of put it laid out on the table with me. I'm not always feeling 100%, you know, not that energy behind me, nothing like that. I feel depressed at times, you know, and I think that's kind of what stopped AD talks last time because I didn't feel like pushing any further if I couldn't put the oomph behind it. Because what would be the point in me bringing something that sounds half-assed? And here's the thing, I sound half-assed a lot of the times. I've been told my voice can sound a bit monotone, you know, boring, but that's just my voice. I genuinely want to do this and bring something fun for you guys because entertaining others is something I enjoy. Um, it's a bit hard to explain, but it's just can be break down to I was depressed, and here's me coming back, trying to put a schedule into sort of my thing. You know, try get something going, keep me busy, focused, and hopefully bring something helpful to you guys. Really, just to shorten it
Routines.
all. Yeah, bring in a routine basically. Got doing that exercise, doing this. Maybe I'll start kicking myself into gear again. Uh, that's the gist of it, really. You know, 2020 as a whole has been crappy. I hope everyone is okay.
Yeah, how are you guys in chat doing? Has anyone had a good year? Because that would
Oh,
be an interesting turn up for the books.
I don't want to speak of other people's lives, but I've had some good news.
There's some good news like mixed into it at least.
Yeah,
It's been a good year for RP. That is, yeah, yeah. Because I'm kind of half torn. Like I've had some excellent RP this year, some excellent RP, but at the same time, we're also at the end of an expansion pack, and everything's really quiet, and things are starting to wind down a bit, and things like that. So I know it's obviously not the best time for RP as well, but I'm still having some excellent stories. So kind of torn. I'm kind of torn. I've got some excellent personal stories going on, but there's not a lot of community stuff. Barring a few amazing individuals in our community that are running these massive community events out the ears, and they're awesome. I don't know how they do that. That's incredible.
yeah. I saw. Speaking of those big RP community events, I've seen on Twitter occasionally with the American servers have these sort of I guess a big promotion art-wise and stuff like that for it. If that's the best way to talk about it, like with the recent Stranglethorn Bash, Beach Bash or something like that. That was pretty cool seeing a lot of the art arising from that. And they had like a big sort of beach party. It's something I might be tempted to host for us in a similar way. I was thinking something like a in the woods though, sort of like picnic or something. Could be fun social event.
Oh, you should do like a teddy bear's picnic type thing.
Yeah.
There's this whole big event they do. To be fair, they generally do it with preschoolers here. But you have like a picnic in the woods, and then you have like these cool games. I'm pretty sure you could transfer those games into like non-toddler versions pretty easily and make that fun.
I have a bunch of ideas for events. I mean, we have
Nice.
toys like dazzling rods and all that stuff to mess around with. WoW isn't exactly. Also, creativity with emotes and stuff like archery and all that stuff. If you want to throw it in, it can always be spun on.
I was really impressed with how they did a lot of the stuff at the tournament that Zarithia ran.
I didn't go to that,
Was
but
that
yeah, me.
last month? She did such a phenomenal job, and some of the people running stuff there did like they did stuff that I have been who have been playing this game for 13 years was like, wow, okay, all right. It was so good. The grand
How?
tournament, exactly.
Oh, didn't you win, by the way?
I did win. That's a whole story in itself. I was so tired. Like in March this year, instead of I had been waiting for this year for the longest time because my youngest started school in January. So I was like, finally, I have mornings to myself. I can start doing things for me again. And literally, like 6 weeks later, they were like, yep, lockdown. Now you're a homeschooler. Have fun. So it has been a wild ride and not at all the year I was planning to have. But I was that Friday now so knackered. I was so exhausted. But I'd promised I was gonna be there. So I turned up and I was like, do you know what? It's gonna be fine because I rolled so badly in everything that I'll be put out in the first round and then I can go to bed and it'll be fine. And I sat there for the first round, just waiting to be put out, literally waiting to be put out. I was totally settled for it because I was going to go to bed. I won the thing. I was there till midnight. Oh my god.
I do
She won
remember
the
you saying in
whole
the
damn
chat,
thing.
just in the chat, like I want to lose, just let me lose.
Trying to lose. Please, I want to go to bed.
If you want to win, guys, that's the mindset you need to go in. Apparently,
Oh my gosh, it was a lot of fun though. It was really, really well done. I did really enjoy it, even if I was totally knackered and not at all expecting to get anywhere remotely near the final place.
it looked pretty fun. Big event. I didn't go to. I've had for me lately, big events. I can't really focus. I lose focus.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think she did a very good job as well of like spreading a lot of it out. Like they were all in different zones, so you weren't being completely swamped by things that weren't necessarily relevant to your immediate area.
Yeah.
There was still, don't get me wrong, a lot of people. If you were walking around, it was jam packed. But you weren't getting conversations that were completely irrelevant. It
There
was
is
pretty
a
good.
health add-on with that, but for some reason, still I can't brain is the best way to put it. Uh,
Yeah.
there is the add-on listener to kind of
Listener is a lifesaver. Honest to God. Anyone in chat, if you do not have listener, get it. You're welcome.
it lets you focus in your immediate area, sort of thing. And if people talk to you directly, it'll highlight it and tell you, so you don't miss out on these emotes or saves or
It's
all that
incredible. And
stuff.
if you think you have missed something, you can just click on the person you were talking to and it'll automatically bring you up everything they've said recently so you can see if you've missed something just with a click. It's so incredibly useful. Just because it takes up space. It does take up space. It really does take up space. Like, it's like a whole extra chat box. But honestly, when we're running the tavern nights, especially, it's it's a sacrifice we have to make because otherwise you lose so much.
It gets crowded. It's helpful, but yeah, I can agree with the space taken up. I like a clear screen for the most
Yeah.
part.
I resize mine to the same width as my chat box and I just set it above it so it's really just like a double height chat box.
Yeah. What RP have I been doing? I haven't been
Oh
doing
my
much
god,
roleplay.
worries.
I've been I've been doing solo interactions mostly with a couple of friends, and I've been building up a lot of new characters I want to roleplay, but at the same time, I probably will only roleplay 1 out of 10 of them.
Where are you going to get the time to roleplay
Exactly.
all these
Well, to be
characters?
fair, it's me. I don't have a life right now, so I could probably roleplay them all if I had the energy to do so. I I do have a new pirate night elf since the Myrmidon has. I think the Myrmidon went down after AD talks went down as well. I think the Myrmidon has gone
Yeah, I
to.
think they did because I didn't know that until very, very recently. So it wasn't
Yeah,
something that was.
well, sad news, Myrmidon's gone dormant, but the role players from it are still very much active and great people to interact with.
Yeah, well, we called off all our community events for this month as well, just because we need a little break from from like we run 3 a week, pretty much year round. So we needed. I decided with that with the it being quiet anyway, and with a lot of people being busy and things like that going on, I was like, you know what, we'll take August out, let everybody recharge the batteries, have a bit of a summer holiday. Like all the people are still around, all the storylines are still going, but we've shelved our community events for a month to give us a little bit of breathing space.
Taking it slow at the moment. As we mentioned, it's the end of the expansion, which I'm going to say, in my opinion at least, it wasn't the greatest expansion. No, not story wise or anything. It hasn't been really that something that I've been too into personally. And I guess the only good parts, for example, for me were the Battle of the Zara Law, which is pretty cool. But then you go into the sort of end of it, the whole laser beaming N'Zoth to back to like wherever. That was pretty lame in my opinion. I don't know what do you sort of think on the expansion, Meraki?
Oh, that's a complicated question. I was not a huge. I try to be so positive about things, like see the good things.
Same.
Like when Sylvanas first started going the road she was going, I was just super optimistic, and I even was like, "No, it's gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna save this. This is just a feint," and it was not a feint. And I'm just, I don't particularly like the direction the story took, but I fully respect Blizzard's direction to take their story, and it is their story. Whatever way they want to take it, that's their prerogative. I'm not making the game. I'm not working on it, so I don't get to say how it goes. It goes how it goes, and I have to just make my peace with that. So I'm making my peace with that. I have to say though, like all expansions, like I really didn't enjoy Warlords of Draenor, and there wasn't so much about the story. It was just about it. Just felt empty to me. But there was a lot. Same as with Warlords in BFA, there's been a lot of role play that I've done and that we've created and that the people around me have created that has been fantastic. And if I was given the option to just have erased BFA and lost everything that came with it, I don't think I'd do it, because while the story wasn't great, I've had a lot of fun raiding. The raids have been fantastic, I think, in BFA. They've been a lot of fun to play. I've had a lot of fun role playing. There's a lot of like mounts and pets in BFA that are super freaking adorable. So all the bits around the story have been good in BFA, I think. But the story was not super duper.
It wasn't. Uh, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. The Munster, the Monster. Let's face it, cinematics will always be great. That's one thing WoW can
Oh,
do great.
wow. I've been able to pull a cinematic off incredibly since day one. That
I
is one of their greatest talents, is an incredible cinematic.
I may not be too into the story, but the cinematic will always be something I enjoy watching. And to be fair, you know, I didn't used to be this cynical. I think it's Jake that's rubbed off on me.
Jake?
I used to be more optimistic about where the story will go, but hanging around with some of the Myrmidon folk, they seem to not like the story a lot. Although to be fair, I never really liked Sylvanas, so I can't really blame them on that one. I've said it before. I'm still of the opinion that Sylvanas' story would have been more impactful and ended better in House Crown. Uh,
To like her so bad, and they just revoked any ability to do that in BFA. And they also made I think they, with making this carousel of Horde leadership, they've basically made Horde leadership essentially a joke. Like, I don't even know what the, like, I think it's like a triumvirate thing at the minute, like a council, but it doesn't feel like it matters anymore because they've messed around with it so much now that it feels unimportant. You know, you can't attach anything to it now because,
I've
yeah.
I don't know if you've read the book. I don't know if everyone here
I
has read the
haven't
book.
read the book, no.
I won't make spoilers, but I do have some high hopes for the leadership direction they're taking the Horde in. It does
See,
seem pretty good.
is it Daddy Locktamar?
No, there's no leader. It's like a
Oh,
council basically,
okay.
which is
I'm always at this point now. This is how traumatized we are about leaders now. Because on one half we're like, oh, maybe it'll be time for my favorite leader to shine, and then in the next thought you're like, no, wait, I don't want that because what if they wreck them too?
I could just picture it now. Please don't give my leader War Chief. Please don't give them War Chief.
I don't want my favorite to be the war chief because he'll ruin them.
They'll turn bad just for some cool
Leave them in the
start.
shadows where I can pretend the story's cool.
Just fingers crossed. No, but they've moved away from the War Chief approach, and I think that's already been made like obvious anyway. It's technically the Madeline Priest said it herself. Horde politics is kind of confusing at the moment, but from my
Yeah, kinda.
perspective, it's pretty much a council. That's pretty much it, really. Everyone gets a
Yeah,
say.
to be fair, the council does, as Demont says, it removes the chance for there to be yet another evil war chief. Which I don't know. I don't know if I could handle it, to be honest. I don't know if I could hack the story again.
But I think what I was going to say, reading the book, I do have high hopes for Shadowlands and where that takes us. I won't.
I am so excited for Shadowlands.
Don't worry, we won't say any spoilers, guys.
No, we're not doing any
Yeah,
spoilers. To be fair, I don't know any spoilers because, like I said, I haven't read the book. I haven't read any of the lore. The only things I wanted to know really were like what the situation was with who could go to Shadowlands, and I don't think that's going to be particularly open to everyday people.
just
But I did get
areas.
into the beta this morning. I did get into the beta and I logged in, and my son literally almost fainted when he saw the. They've now done the character creation scene where when you click a different class, it will do some of their casting animations, so you get to see how they are in combat. And he saw that, and he literally almost fainted with excitement. He thought it was the coolest thing he'd ever seen. I'm like, they do that and okay, it's fine. Let him be excited. But yes, we logged in and I just literally did the first 2 quests just to see what the opportunity for roleplay is going to be for people who want to go to Shadowlands. Like, because I run a mostly civilian sort of shady guild. So we're not exactly military. We don't exactly deploy to every warfront that pops up without pretty good reason. So I was wondering what the situation there was, if it's going to be limited to who goes. And it does seem like it's going to be a small group, but not like a 5-person group. There was troops present. So maybe it'll be open to groups that are militaristic in nature. I don't know how we're going to wing it, frankly, but in terms of being able to roleplay in that new content, that was one of my concerns. But it just looks so nice.
Let's
Everything
face
looks so
it, we're not
nice.
even there for the story at this point. We're just there to see what the new customization is.
Just to collect things, to get
We
more pretties.
we want more hairstyles, more
Oh,
eye
they look
colors,
so
everything.
good.
They do look really good, and I'm actually excited for that. But my one exciting like in an RP sense approach to this expansion is that the story will be entirely focused elsewhere. So we don't have anything on Azeroth bothering us technically, except from the Scourge, which is a good story in itself to face against now and again. But we technically have more freedom on Azeroth. We don't have to worry about the lore. If it's bad, we can just say, well, it's happening in Shadowlands. Who gives a gives a
It's
fuck?
happening in the death realm or whatever.
But yes,
I can see it. Like, I don't, like I said, I haven't read the books. I don't necessarily know how it works. I just wanted to do that intro quest to see, how many people are going, and therefore how feasible would it be for roleplay guilds to go and do that content in character, because I felt like that was important to know. I don't know if it's going to be relevant for ours, but I feel like if it was, let's for a moment imagine that it was, there is so much roleplay potential with that concept. I feel like, anyway, like for everybody's character has some kind of relationship with death, the idea of death, the concept of death, or, you know, deaths that have affected them in their lives. And that just shakes all of that up completely.
It's particularly cool if you're those of the Death Knights or Druid, because in the realms there are in there. It might be a good expansion for Death Knight guilds if they manage to last longer than they tend to. But that's a topic for another time. But yeah, Shadowlands is shaping up to be something very interesting.
So beautiful. There's so much beautiful stuff in it, like animals and models and scenes. And I'm sorry, I'm just here for the pretty stuff, honestly.
Same. God. There's trying to find words. Apparently they're adding more customizations as we go along. So for whatever you've seen now, they're probably going to keep adding to it. Apparently, don't take my word for it. Again, it's Blizzard. They promise us a lot of things, but have taken it away.
Chat. What are you guys looking at about covenants? Do you have any ideas of preferences? Someone called out Swolkin, and I'm so in love. I'm so in love with them.
If Venthyr isn't your favorite covenant, you can get out of my chat.
To be fair, I think my main roleplay character is definitely Venthyr. True.
The whole aesthetics is cool.
Wait.
I love it.
Which one's Venthyr?
That's the gothic sort of.
But what's their whole concept?
The bad but redeemable.
Yeah, that's my main. My PvE main's Bastion through and through.
I have a few characters that could probably end up in Venthyr, like lore-wise. The main goody two-shoes is Ursia.
Librams?
What'd you say, sorry?
They promise quivers and librams?
Have they?
Are they gonna deliver that though, Vash?
They promised that in WoD.
Yeah, they promised a lot of things.
I'm really hopeful we're good though, because this is a lot more customization than I would have imagined them to add. Because I think the last time we got more hairstyles and stuff was in Cataclysm, which is a while ago now.
Yeah.
And the only next big customization thing we got is in WoD with the new models.
Yeah, I remember that worries. I remember the promise of Dance Studio, and sometimes they still tease us with it. They still drop it into like the April Fool's jokes for all of us old timers that have been here for decades and we're still bitter about it.
Didn't they add some quest line or something as well in Garrison Dance or something?
Yeah,
everyone thought it was like a dance studio.
Yeah. Oh.
But they disappointed us again. They're just taunting us at this point. Jeez.
Some bows have arrows that match in design. That would be cool as well. I can never tell if I miss arrows or not. Because I didn't main a hunter back then, but I had one, and I was always forever the person that did not have meat or arrows in their bag.
I don't miss it. I remember playing hunter and I kept running out of ammo and I just had to hit people. Oh my god, the way WoW runs, please don't add that.
Yeah, it would. To be fair, if they added it and got it working, it would be terrible because they just don't have the scope for it. I don't think. But
WoW isn't the sort of game where you can
do imagine
combat as PvP.
We were going to do that in Wrath of the Lich King. I cannot imagine how that would work, especially with the phasing, because the phasing was so janky in Wrath of the Lich King as well that you couldn't even do group quests. You know the way now, if you join a party, you sync into that person's phase? That didn't happen when they first rolled out any kind of phasing, which was in Wrath of the Lich King. So when you were moving through Icecrown was developing, that was the idea. But that was the first time they tried to do it, and it basically meant that if your friend was a couple of quests ahead of you, or whatever, and they had got a group quest, you couldn't help them with it because even if you were in a group with them, you'd still be in your phase and they'd still be in their phase, and you couldn't see the mob. It's totally hopeless.
Yeah. So I you know what, Blizz have surprises, so maybe they could make it work, but when it comes to aerial combat, I genuinely don't think this is the sort of game for it. All right, we've spoken about Shadowlands and Wrath apparently.
Listen, Wrath was a classic. It was great. It's good crack.
New customizations. Maybe you guys would like to mention what some of your favorite new customizations are. For me personally, it's probably with the Night Elves and Orcs. They're looking very cool with the war paint and the side braid, all that stuff. I love it.
I'm sorry, I can't choose favorite customizations. I just want all the customizations and more customizations all the time. Customizations can never be wrong. I just want them all. I want more.
Oh,
I want them to double the numbers of customizations.
not to mention the dark-skinned Blood Elves as well.
Oh, they're so good. I was trying those out today as well. And the eye combinations that you can do with all the different eye colors, that's amazing. I would like maybe a few more beard options for males. They have given us
I want a fuller beard.
a fuller beard, but it would be nice to have a few variants, a few
Yeah,
fuller ones, a better, you know,
yeah. Same.
rather than just because now every blood elf male that has been wanting a beard for 10 years has only got one real option.
And everyone would
Every
just
blood
look
elf
the same.
is gonna have this beard.
And of course, we need a mustache for Comnimus, however you pronounce it. I'm bad
Yeah,
with
Comedy
names.
needs his proper handlebar mustache.
Yeah, we do need a mustache for him. Oh, that is another great thing, actually. The High Elf people got a win, it seems. So we are getting High Elves on Alliance sides, but technically
Yeah,
Void Elves.
I don't know much about the Void Elf customizations. Do they have options that do not have tentacles in the hair?
I don't know about that, but I do know that they do have the
Roll
options
a high
to.
elf. You're not going to want tentacles in your hair.
Yeah, I hope they remove that tentacle sort of option in the hair, and also to give you more hair color than just purple. But we'll
Oh,
have to wait and see.
weird color hair. Yeah. See, what is the point in giving them like normal skin tones and normal eye colors, and not giving them normal hairs?
But maybe they'll add it. We don't know yet. It's still in beta.
Listen, if they add even more customizations, happy days. I will be so happy.
I think the race that has got the more short end of the stick at the moment is Pandaren, though. They've only got a few things, that's it, really. Tauren are actually looking pretty cool.
The Tauren ones are cool.
And I honestly thought they'd be the Tauren that be getting less.
Yeah,
Because
but I think that maybe that's why they're not, because they're always one of the forgotten races, and it would be very obvious if they then forgot them.
no, yeah. They're definitely getting a lot of cool options. I could talk
I
about this
will.
for like hours, to be
I
honest.
know, right? Customization. This is what we've been wanting for literally years. Just
If
customizations.
if you've been following my tweets, I've been going on a mad rant lately with more approaches when it comes to roleplay, wanting surnames available, so we could have more name availability open as general. Uh, More cosmetic looking outfits, pirate uniforms, civilians, mercenary, all that stuff that you can just sort of earn through raids as an assembled sort of outfit or a puzzle.
Yeah. See, now that they've added jewelry, I think that could be something they could add in as something you could maybe collect in game.
Yeah,
Because they've added in like as a separate, not like an item, but like as a slot essentially.
yeah, it's something. Okay, I know I'm talking about a different game here, but different games even, because there's Final Fantasy, there's Guild Wars, there's Elder Scrolls who actually have these sort of outfits that you can dress over your character, and
Yes, I
they
remember that. Yeah.
they actually look very cool, and I think WoW would benefit a lot from it. It's already in a popular expansion, arguably more popular than all of those, but it'd be even more popular with that sort of stuff. Just, I think the main thing with MMOs that people want is the customization of their characters. The more availability there is.
Is options and
Yeah.
pretties.
Like there's that fancy new dress, I guarantee you like 80% of people will want it. Uh, all right, there's some up AD talks and RP talks quickly then, since we have about 20
Oh
minutes.
yeah, well let's go over the new and slightly different.
New and
Gotta write
slightly
that.
different, yes,
Gotta write that
but
down.
not improved.
Not improved, just different.
Yeah, don't expect big things. I'm not giving you big
Still the
things.
same hot mess.
Look, just come in here expecting to be disappointed already. Okay, I kind of explained at the start, but if you joined halfway through, 80 talks went down due to me feeling down and not having the energy to maintain it. But it's kind of something I have to do anyway because I'm still feeling down often, and having that schedule to help me have some sort of sense or something to do will probably help me, get past that eventually, or at least to some extent. The changes we wanted, yeah, the changes coming forward with RP talks was to open it up to the majority of RP servers and all regions of WoW, because we kind of want to we want to provide some advice, some pointers, some spotlights of events, everything to shine the creativity that happens in WoW through the roleplay servers, because more often than not it's PvP and PvE that's focused on, and RP kind of gets the stigma that it's for the weird people sort of thing, considering how people tend to go on a venture to gold shine. I upload it to YouTube, the most original video format ever.
Um, yeah, AD Talks was a lot of. It was very roleplay centered because obviously AD is a roleplay server. But we would go into a lot of community events and things that were on there, and we're hoping to keep that, but we're hoping to broaden that scope out so we can
Yeah,
cover. So spotlights, will we still be doing spotlight-esque segments? They're just going to be over all regions. I always get regions and realms a bit.
let's just say regions, like
Yeah,
RP regions.
over all role play regions over the whole game, and we're going to keep our talks and our questions in terms, because things like creating a character that we were talking about earlier, it's one of the options for next week. That's relevant to every roleplay realm everywhere. So we're gonna keep it more general about the roleplay, and we're gonna use our spotlight segments to spotlight different creators, different roleplays, different characters, different events, different guilds, all that kind of stuff over the whole WoW roleplay scene, rather than just Argent Dawn.
And hey, maybe if we get people from other realms to guest as well, they can give us their perspective
Yeah,
and how they do it, which is
if
always
you
great.
have an opinion on any particular aspect of roleplay in WoW, if there's anything you'd like to voice that you think would be beneficial to the community to hear, then please do get in touch with us. We don't bite all that often. We're very well house trained by this point. We'd love to have you on. Just drop us a note in the Discord and we'll sort it out. If you'd like to showcase as well, if you'd like to showcase a particular guild character or event or something that's going on your realm, please feel free to let us know about that too. We do sometimes struggle to keep on top of everything going on in Argent Dawn, never mind everywhere else. So if you know of something that's going on, don't assume we already know. We probably don't.
Yeah,
Let us know.
this isn't an outro. This is us explaining Jake at the moment. Well, you'll know when it's an outro because we'll be all confused and stuff.
Yeah, we're really bad at outros. They could probably
Yeah,
do with work.
we could probably do with an outro. Maybe I'll steal it from another creator, But yeah, we will try and look at other regions and stuff. But I mean, we're both on Argent Dawn, so it will sometimes miss as much as we sometimes miss stuff on AD. We're more likely to miss stuff on other realms as well, because that isn't somewhere where we entirely focus on. So I
We'll
mean,
do our best, but if you want to drop us a line in Discord, that'll help us out.
yeah, I mean, if you want to help out, if you're from the US servers or any of the other servers and a role player, and on top of those sort of events, we're happy to have volunteers help us form that spotlight sort of list. Uh, some we I lost the potential topics list. That's what I forgot to
Did you
do.
lose your potential topics list?
I probably have it somewhere in my Google Docs, but
Listen, I'll find it. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere.
I had a bunch of like potential topics still from AD talks that I thinking of bringing over. I really need to sort out my AD documents. I think I
Yeah.
found it.
Well, I've got a whole load of them because I think he sent them to me at one point. I also have ones that I had for my blog, which got completely sidetracked. I was genuinely thinking about doing them in video format instead for YouTube, but I haven't. That was my plan for this year. That was my grand designs for what I was going to do with my free mornings. I was going to get my stream back going, and I was going to get like a little role play guide on creating characters and creating events and guilds and things like that going for my YouTube channel, and then COVID happened and none of that happened, so that all got shelved. But I have the list somewhere, so I can take that out.
As
Oh
I
no,
just
sound.
as I just put in the chat, you can always poke if the topic kind of connects to you. If we haven't poked anyone, we'll have
Yeah,
like
if you
1 to 2 guests max. We don't want to have too many people because that can just turn into a clusterfuck.
it can absolutely crowd the conversation. I think it's one or two people tops. But if you see anything, any suggestions in the straw polls, or if you have a topic suggestion that you think you know anything about, just tag that in. Say, oh, you could talk about this. I'm happy to come on and guest. And drop it into the Discord because the stream chat completely wipes when the stream ends. So if we have a retainable record, it's nice to have it over in Discord so we can check back on
If
that.
you're on the RP Talks Discord and you want to be more involved in this, please join it.
That's your place to be. That's where all the good
I,
stuff's going to happen between shows.
I've been advertising this every day pretty much for the last 2 weeks, probably. If you're not in it, join it. If you want to get more involved, you get in there. Otherwise, it's not my fault if I've missed something. I found some of the topics we were meant to discover, but to be honest, since it's sort of a restart, we can still circle back to other topics.
Yeah.
Some of the
We
topics,
can always redo a thing and bring in a guest where we didn't have a guest before because they probably have a different take on
yeah,
certain topics and things like that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I kind of still feel bad about not being able to archive the night of conversation I had with, I think it was with Acrona, and
Oh no! Did we lose one?
I think this was before you were in it as well, actually, because
For me.
people kept asking for archive videos and me still starting fresh. I was like, wait a minute, I could do that, couldn't I?
Yeah. No,
Unfortunately, that video disappeared.
it's handy to have them so that people can catch up because I know like not everybody can make every single time, and this is literally like one of the only slots of time that I have free in a week. So we were quite limited. I think Fuse was like, I'm thinking about starting up. What day suits you? And I'm like, well, we have 1 hour on this day and we have 1 hour on this day, and if it's outside of those time frames, then you're gonna have to find another co-host.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Some of the topics I was going to continue sort of talking about with AD Talks was the story so far, which I guess would be fun to go through, like, a bit of parts of lore.
That would be especially good as we come up, like maybe do through September as we come up to the pre-patch and the run into Shadowlands, just like as a recap type thing.
Yeah, we could talk about BFA.
Like history lessons, like Azeroth history lessons.
I think Meraki can do this one on their own.
That would be
She's
cool.
more
Okay.
enthusiastic.
I don't know anything about. I'll learn though. It sounds fun.
We'll
We can get
discuss it all
different
together,
people.
basically.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna write a list of the whole timeline, break it up into history classes, right? And I'll post it in, and we'll get like people in to talk about all the different events in history, and
Yeah.
we'll all brush up on our history before the new lore comes out.
We can have that all throughout, and it'd be fun because it's always fun to discuss the story so far and having our perspective on it as a whole because we all have different perspectives.
Yeah, that I baked that into one of the questions of the week. One of the new things we're doing, guys, we're going to do questions of the week, where every week we are going to ask you guys a question about your characters that you're going to take over to at the end of the show. It's going to be our sign off. This is our attempt to fudge an outro. This is our sign off. We're going to give you guys a question of the week, and we'd like you to go over to the Discord and drop in your answers about your characters in there. And one of them is, I think, about history of the actual world and stuff like that. Although, to be fair, today I wrote out 52 different questions. I was like, here, because Fuse has been doing all this advertising and I've been doing literally nothing. So I was like, oh no, I'm the weakest link. So to redeem myself today, I went and wrote out 52 different questions of the week for a whole year, and then Discord deleted half of them. So I'm still mad about it.
To be fair, Meraki, I wasn't exactly good at selling myself for the advertisement anyway. But you guys sort of helped. You guys helped with the.
I like it. That's about how I do lore. That sounds right.
That's actually a great name for it. We could call it the lore flail.
Yeah. Exactly, the mini series. I love it.
We'll take that if you let us, that is. Other topics we were going to discuss were classes and how you can approach them through roleplay. Paladins, Death Knights, all that stuff.
Class fantasies, class stereotypes, and different things that you can do that outside of those stereotypes, or different ways to do those stereotypes well, all that kind of jazz.
Yep. And how you don't necessarily have to stick to the class you're playing as well to RP as well. I mean, sometimes you just pick the class to do the content and RP to do whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you get as close as you can to a character concept. Like, a lot of my character concepts are not based on the class. And then I go to make them and I'm like, wait a minute, what class would they be? And I have no idea.
But yeah, that's something to discuss. Let's run through the list a quick. Let me open it up again. There was races. We did do a few topics on like Blood Elves, Night Elves. I think we did Orcs. I don't know if we did Trolls. But we can go revisit those again.
Did we not do Trolls?
No, I don't think we did Trolls.
Oh my gosh. Maybe we should start with Trolls.
Yeah, we can start with Trolls. That'll be something we can discuss, but it's RP's perspective on them. That's something else. Seasonal events from an RP's perspective as well. Hollow's End, Winter's Vale, Noble Garden, and the events that come with it. It's always fun to talk about.
Yeah, we could always I'll try because it's something I wanted to do for the blog, as well as I wanted to go into like the lore of the different holiday events, where they came from and how they came about, because I feel like all of our characters kind of attend all the different realm events that always pop up around those events, but we don't, at least I don't really know when those things started or why they started. I don't know if there is lore for that, but if there is, I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna bring it to you.
Yep. Oh, if you haven't followed me yet, and since we're talking about orcs in the chat, if you follow me, you'll hear a nice, little orc pop up.
Orc soundbite, orc bias.
Hey, let's face it, guys. Orcs are the coolest. I mean, we have Saurfang and Duratan. Speaking of further things that we were going to discuss, there you go. That was a Dabu. I think I just talked over it though. Retconning, which I guess we can go into the story so far as well. Out of character nicely, which I guess is a suggested topic in a way, which could happen next week depending on your votes.
Depending on your votes.
Roleplay, where do I find it? How do I join in? I think we technically discussed that, but we can go over it again. It's always different ways of approaching it. Dealing with annoyances, which again can go into the out of character discussion. Lollers, Godemers, trolling, all that stuff. And how Blizzard should be dealing with that as well.
Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yep. Character story shaping, which was a suggested topic as well.
Oh yes, I like that one. That's a good one. I think that was one of my favorites on that list.
Roleplay and where to get started, and elitism were some of the topics we were going to discuss in AD Talks, and we might bring over to this. But we're starting fresh, so we haven't. The whole world is our oyster at the moment.
Absolutely, anything that progress. No, so it's going to become a history lesson. I'm sorry, I'm taking over the show. I'm going to hijack the whole show and turn it into a history lesson.
Hey, I could just sit back then. You hear that?
There
Meraki's
will
taking
be
over.
pop quizzes. Pay attention.
Instead of RP questions, you'll have those pop quizzes. Uh, we are keeping the spotlight nights as Meraki suggested. We'll bring in guilds, horde, or alliance.
Yeah, so if you have any suggestions for any guilds on your realm, any even just characters on them, or any events that are going on that you think deserve a little bit of extra recognition, let us know. Give us a poke, drop us a name. We'll be in contact and we'll put them into the spotlight nights we're doing once a month. So if you can tell us, we do them at the end of the month. So at the end of August, we'll do one for September. So stuff that's coming up in September, drop us a word about that, and we will get that into that spotlight night, and everybody give it some love.
Spotlight nights will still remain at the end of each month.
Yeah.
We don't have one for this month yet, so I mean, if you want to kind of barge in and claim the first, get to be the first spotlight night of this RP Talks, you can.
Of this new and slightly different transition.
I'll even let you come into the chat and just say first as your introduction. But yeah, Spotlight Night's always great, and it shines a light on the great sort of events and stuff going on.
Yeah, because the thing about RP is that as much as the history is great, it's all about the community. It's all about the people. And if it wasn't for the guilds and communities and people, it wouldn't happen.
No, it wouldn't. Otherwise, you can sort of get the idea that we generally want to keep RP Talk similarly, but also broaden it. And that's pretty much it on the dot, really.
All about the RP, but now all about the RP generally, rather than just on Argent Dawn.
Yeah. Right, I'm trying to figure out what order should I do this in.
Oh.
We'll sign off with the RP question, so we'll leave that to the end.
Have you picked a question?
Well, you know what? I'll Russian roulette it.
Oh my gosh!
Or maybe
So
we could just
organized.
maybe we could just go down the list.
Pick the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah. All right. We'll go down that list anyway. But there is a
Remember
massive
the
list of
straw
Meraki,
poll,
so
guys. Remember to jump in the Discord and check out the straw poll and vote for what you want us to talk about next week. Also, drop us any other suggestions you have for topics that we can put in the poll for next week.
But firstly, and I'll drop this in this chat as well.
We're also going to have we have a channel for this in the Discord, right?
For we have a
The
channel
weekly
for everything.
question.
Yeah, I believe we do. And we also have this if you want to ask questions anonymously or whatever.
Oh yeah, if you would like to if you don't have a topic to suggest, but you just want to ask either of us a question, any random question at all, then drop it into Fuse's Ask thing.
Yeah, and remember to, I don't know, hashtag RP Talks or something like that, so I know what to say for the following
for
week.
the show and not just for Fuse in general.
Yeah, because I mean, no one has any questions to ask me anyway, but you know, just having that there will let me know.
I'm way too much of a scaredy cat for an AMA, so more power to you.
I'm just doing it for this mainly anyway. But we do have one question for this week from someone.
We do have a question for this week.
Undead Paladins, we've seen them with the Scarlets, we've seen them in Nax. Should they be playable in RP in any way, shape, or form? Any shape, way, or form? I guess they just sort of rearrange the words a bit. or not. This was, I think, by one of our resident Undead role players in our Discord. I'm when it comes to races and what classes they can be, at this point, I'm just like screw it and give everyone everything. I don't know about you, Meraki, if you want to maintain that racial class fantasy sort of aspect of things.
Here's the thing. Obviously, there's two elements to it. The reason why some races can't be some classes is nothing to do with in character. It's purely a game balance mechanics thing. So I don't know if you want to consider that or not, because that's technically nothing to do with the roleplay, right?
Can I just intervene there a moment? Balance hasn't been a thing for a while. So, I mean, if they're going to just not have any balance, they may as well just go tits up at this point.
They, you know, the balance is kind of whack. It's been kind of whack for years.
It's been like that since the dawn of MMOs anyway, so.
Yeah, there's no perfect way to balance it out, but I think the idea that they're going for, like, the reason they only have a certain number of classes for each thing is some illusion of balancing things. But I don't think any of those choices are necessarily characterful. I think they're more limiting, honestly, than they are characterful, especially if you have classes that are, and especially if you have, like, there are instances in the game where there are undead paladins. So lore wise, it's perfectly feasible. There's lore suggests it's not common,
It's pretty
that
cool
it's
from
not
an RP's
easy,
perspective as well.
that it's pretty difficult, but it is possible, and
Yeah.
therefore technically that should be open to everyone. I think that always comes with, you're going to get a lot of people not playing that very well, or people playing it very well, and a lot of the community being wary of it because it's such a niche kind of thing. But it's technically possible, so it should be, in my opinion, available. And like someone in chat said, they're like all classes for all races. There's nothing really to say, like, especially things like rogues and warriors and all those kind of things. There's nothing to say that any race couldn't go out, if they were of a mind to, and learn certain things.
Realistically, in a setting like World of Warcraft, anyone can pick up anything, and
Magic exists, so
something
all
that
bets
would
are
be a
off.
far reach, I guess, at best, would be undead druids. That's the only far reach I see so far with all races being. But demon hunters I can see for every
Again,
race.
right? And again, now this is me. I have not researched this at all, by the way, and I don't play either undead or druid in character. So take a whole barrel of salt and pour it on what I'm about to say. Technically, life and death is part of nature as a process.
Oh yeah, you know what, you got me there actually, because there is the coherent aspect of druidic magic, which
You
technically
know,
focus on the
it's
death
the same
side
kind
to
of
it.
idea as light and
Yeah,
shadow with the undead.
yeah,
Which has a power, which hurts them, but is usable. So being the antithesis of a thing is not necessarily exclusionary in the lore either. So, like I said, there's no there's no way to say, like, I don't think anything is particularly
yeah.
impossible.
Uh, short short answer to that question, I guess, would be sure, why not?
Sure, why not? You do you. You do you. Have
Undead
fun. No,
Paladins would be pretty cool. There's the whole interesting aspect of holy magic being painful to them, but they
that could be characterful. You could
yeah.
do interesting things with that.
I mean, maybe you're just a masochist.
Yeah. Or maybe you're just really driven in a different way, and that's like your price that you pay
Yeah,
for it.
it's an
It's
atonement sort of thing, probably.
Yeah, like some kind of intense dedication, which I think is the angle that they go for with the paladins that are the undead paladins that are in the game.
The
But
one,
yeah,
the one under the Undead Paladin I do find interesting. I think his name is Sir Zelik or something like that. I forget
yes,
the names.
Zalek it's definitely a Z name.
I'm bad with names. I remember faces
I
most.
asked my pocket lore friend that we mentioned earlier about this question because I don't know an awful lot about the undead, so he was the one who brought up that guy. So Zalek, yeah.
So yeah, Sir Zelik is pretty interesting in that aspect. But yeah, if you want to, if Undead Paladins were a thing, I wouldn't be against it. It'd be great,
Yeah.
something to RP.
Maybe they will do away with the class race limits
Yeah, maybe. I think
after
they also try.
they've added all this customization now in Shadowlands. So they're obviously, like, thinking about opening all of these limitations that are previously on your character customization. They're allowing the different kinds of elves to exist within the both factions, and they're allowing all the different kind of dwarves and orcs and trolls to exist within the current
Yeah,
cosmetic setup. So I think maybe they're going down the path of slowly lessening those things. I'd really like to see them kill the language barrier that's completely redundant at this point anyway.
God,
But yeah,
those potions are
removing the class
expensive.
would remove the class limit would be good, I think.
Yeah. We don't have any other questions otherwise, but I mean, if you want to ask one, there's the Ask FM. I don't want to spam people, but honestly, I have to advertise as well sometimes. I hate doing it. But yeah, it's
Part
something that
of
has
the
to be done.
process. You gotta advertise it.
Yeah, you got it.
Listen, I'm the same. If I'm watching something and someone doesn't put the link literally in front of my face exactly when I want to click it, I'm like, can I be bothered?
Just slap, slap, slap. I'm going to start dropping leaflets through your letterboxes, guys.
Oh, the potion was so good, Giz. Like, but I think it's tailing off. At least I found when I'm trying to sell at the minute that the sales on tongues is starting to tail off a little bit.
People have started picking up on it.
People start picking up; they could just go do it, get it themselves just as easily.
Thank you for the follow. It's very expensive as well, though. I mean, they may as well raise it at this point. There's no point in the fucking potions. Everyone wants it. Why bother with the
If
potions?
you're selling the potions, just wait until it's literally the night of a cross faction event, because everybody turns up to the cross faction event and is like, "Crap, I forgot the potions," and they'll buy one.
Yep. I think that's the question answered. I don't know how we got to the RP
Gold making tip for you
faction.
there at the end, completely randomly.
I'm confused. We kind of evolved that, but we've answered the
Sorry, I
question.
can't help myself.
If you want to go on Ask FM and ask us any question, doesn't have to be related to the topic.
Yeah, it
We'll
doesn't even
answer
have
it
to be
again.
related to roleplay. If you want to ask us anything at all on Ask FM, we'll unless it's completely
If it's
lewd and awful
yeah,
and
we're
not
not answering that.
suitable for Twitch, we are not answering that kind of stuff. But if we can answer it, we will answer it.
No, I will not show you my boobs.
I've seen them; they're majestic.
And hairy. Um. Otherwise, I think it's advert time, and then roleplay question.
Time. All right, if you picked a question.
Okay, you advert. I'll just go through question quick.
Okay, guys. Oh, let me find the links. Right, this is the last time you're getting them. So if you haven't clicked them already, this is it. Last chance. Here is the straw poll for for next week's topic. Remember, if you do not have a topic that's not on that list that you would like us to talk about, then you should click this and join our Discord and tell us what you would like us to talk about. Or tell us if you'd like to come and talk about it yourself, because you probably know a lot more than we do, frankly. And you can also jump in there to answer our question of the day, which Fuse is about to give. Question of the day, question of the week, which Fuse is about to give you. You can follow him on Twitter. He's down there. You can also go to the Ask and ask us anything over there on his. Drop the link there. Can you talk about me? I mean, we can try. You have to tell us something first.
Give us an entire list. If you're on Argent Dawn, I'm very bad at keeping up with the American servers. Unfortunately, if an American player could do that for me.
Yeah, if there's any Americans from the NA realms, NARP realms in the chat, make yourself known. We could do with the little representative over on that side of the big pond.
But otherwise, we do appreciate the occasional bump and stuff on that thread, because with the new forums.
No! Please don't start talking about the new forums. I will go on rant.
If something falls into the void, it falls into it forever.
It's gone. It's lost. It's locked.
Yeah,
I lost our guild thread. I missed our guild thread by one day, like a week ago, and I have not been to the forum since because I'm so mad about it. I had just redone it all. I'm so annoyed. I hate it. I hate it so bad. Sorry, carry on while I weep.
Before I do the RP question, there's also at the bottom, I usually hate doing this part, but I mean, if you want to support me, you can click on that support me through Streamlabs, or there's also coffee down there as well that you can sort of check in.
I fuse a coffee. Do you even drink coffee?
No, I don't actually like coffee or tea.
You don't even drink coffee?
Or tea.
Man, I shot one so hard before this.
You know what, actually, I might remove my Instagram down there. I don't actually use it. I also need to remove... Okay, there's a few links down there that I need to change, but...
We need to redecorate the bio.
We do. I haven't been streaming at all. I've streamed the past couple of days a bit of Dragon Age just to kind of get the voice flow back into it, but it hasn't been that good with all the ums and ers. But I was going to say something actually. We basically need to fix all of that. A lot of it still works, I think. Do need to change that I stream Tuesday AD talks down there because I don't. It's a lie.
Yeah, we had to. Well, to be fair, Tuesday was the other option.
Tuesday was the other option.
I was like, you got Tuesday, you got Thursday. Pick your day, mate.
We felt like being adventurous and switching up.
To be fair, Tuesday was less good because I also have a guild community event on Tuesday, so I would have been trying to split my attention had you chosen Tuesday. I'm glad we went for Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, you can thank others for that. They voted for it.
Y'all saved.
Right. Well, okay. RP question of the day. This is our sign off. So
We will see you guys next week, same place, same time, topic of your choosing. We'll be back then.
That vote will fall short in. I'll give it like another hour or so because I just want that to be short and quick. I might prefer
So that
to
if
do
we
that on
have to do any
Discord,
research, we've got a week to do the research.
yeah, we don't want to wait too long for that straw poll. Yeah, okay. Yes, this is the outro. The outro is RP question of the day. Since we've said buys, what are your character's everyday hobbies? You can answer that in the Discord or on the thread that I've linked or on Twitter maybe with the hashtag RP Talks. Maybe we can start a trend like that.
Yeah, do it. Answer it on Twitter. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
Or drop it in the Discord. But yeah, tell us what are their hobbies? What do they do when they are not having to do anything else? What do they like to do? What do they enjoy doing? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We might even let you know what our characters do.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
You have to roll a 18 plus to get that answer.
That's a nat 20 kind of roll.
See you guys. Thanks
Thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you again next week.
Glad to be back.